What's happening, guys? It's me, Adam, from Unstoppable Acting Studio, and in this video I'm going to share with you how you can thrive as an actor during this pandemic. Okay, I'm going to share some of my ideas. I've been thinking about this a lot. There is a huge amount of negativity out there in the world right now, and it is completely natural to be feeling at a place of anxiety, to be feeling that you're in a reactive state, that you are in survival mode day after day after day. And these are some ideas I just want to share with you that hopefully you can start to feel like you have the ability to be able to thrive in this situation and bring back a little bit more control in your life. The industry right now is in a very precarious place. I'm making this video in October 2020. There are less opportunities, less auditions going out there, but there's still a huge number of things that you can be doing as an actor to reach your goals and to achieve what you want to do. So my first piece of advice, how to thrive as an actor during this pandemic, is to be very careful how you determine success. If you are the type of person that determines success on getting an agent, booking a job, getting that film role that you've always wanted, then I think those successes, those feelings of success are very short-lived. And yes, you'll feel amazing in the short term, but you really need to have a firm root as to what you think success is on a day-to-day basis. Those things are end goals, those things are destinations, and my advice to you would be find a way to love the journey that you're on as an actor. Now, actually, the success that you're feeling is that you're able to wake up day in, day out, and maybe not commit all your time to acting right now, but you're able to commit some of your time to something that you love. And many people out there in the world, they struggle to find that thing that they love and they feel passionate about. So in a way, you're always successful. Each and every day that you wake up, you are successful in that you found something that you love and you're able to commit time to that thing. Anything that happens from it is a complete bonus. But how amazing is it that you can genuinely say, I do something that I love. Understand that the industry is going through huge changes, and with change comes huge opportunity. I'm not for a second saying that what is going on right now isn't a sad thing. We hear about agencies closing, theatres are dark. There's huge, massive effects to the industry that we're working in, and I hope wholeheartedly from the bottom of my heart that it gets back and it is able to recover as soon as possible. But we've also got to embrace the fact that there is a lot of change that is happening. I love this quote, this idea that about forests, and that forests, they need storms in order to blow away all the weak and old trees that are part of that forest. And I think actually what this pandemic has done is accelerated the course of change that is happening in this industry. Just for an example, how self-tapes have become such a prevalent thing over the past little while, and that's something that you can see that maybe isn't going away. So what you want to see is, what are the patterns of change? What are things that are occurring right now that I can see are going to be permanent changes to this industry, or certainly quite long-term changes to this industry, and how can I capitalize on it? How can I, as an actor, knowing my skills, knowing my value, knowing the things that I can do well, add to one of these changing opportunities within the industry? This is a complete switch in mindset to waiting by the phone for things to happen. What I'm actually saying to you is, can you start to spot something that's going to change? Can you anticipate some kind of change that's going on in this industry? And do you have a value and a skill set that you can add that's going to help with this change in some way? As the acting industry is moving more and more online right now, I feel that a lot of barriers for entry are going to start to fall as well. These traditional obstacles and blocks that have been in place to enter the industry, it is going to be a lot more wide open. That casting opportunities, for instance, are potentially going to be much more wide open as well. That perhaps casting directors will be more open to taking on board a variety of different looks and types of actors for roles, that no longer will we be showing up in casting rooms where it's filled with people that look like us, sound like us, that with things moving more and more online, that hopefully it blows casting opportunities much more wide open for people from every different background. This is perhaps one of the most important points, is that you have time time is one of the most precious commodities out there. And of course, like, none of us want to be wasting time. And it might feel right now that you're in this middle ground of not being able to do anything specific for your career, and also not wanting to really do nothing and just hang around and wait for it to end. But what is the best use of your time right now? For me, I'd argue that this is a great time to be continuing to sharpen up your craft, to be learning skill sets and acting techniques, reading books by amazing acting practitioners, watching lessons online, connecting with people. There's a ton of resources out there. So even though you might be tied to being in your house right now, the skill sets that you pick up during this time and in this 6 months to a year that this pandemic, who knows, might go on longer, but that this is going on, that's going to last for a lifetime. It never goes away. And the best actors out there, they're always sharpening their tools, they're always practicing technique, and that's the thing that never goes away. So even if you're doing something for 5-10 minutes a day, that's going to compound to something very, very valuable over time if you're consistent with it. So my advice is, time is such a precious commodity. Use it to the best of your ability that you can. And that's maybe not sitting watching Netflix or playing video games or whatever it is. Think, what's one thing that you can actionably achieve each and every day to move yourself forward? Hey, and even just watching this video, you've done that thing for today. Well done. And going back to this time thing, like, finally, you have the time to connect with people and put ideas together for all those amazing projects you've had in your head, but you've never had the time to execute and implement. Now let me tell you something about ideas. Ideas are worthless until you start putting them into reality, until you start putting them into some kind of action. And there's never a perfect time to start. You can literally be waiting for your whole life for the motivation or the perfect time to put that thing out there. There's never going to be it. So you might as well start today. So that idea for a script or that idea for that comedy sitcom that you had in your head, why not just jot a load of the ideas down on paper? Start connecting with some of your acting friends you might have, or start reaching out to people on acting Twitter or through Instagram and say, I've got this piece, I'd love a group of people to be part of this, and let's see where we can build and we can grow it. Now, of course, you might be saying, Adam, I'm an actor, I want to be paid for my work, but let me let you into a little bit of a window of my thinking here, right? If you take the time to really invest in something that you believe in, and if you take the time to invest in being better at it day after day after day, this will eventually pay rewards. It will eventually pay dividends to you, okay? This isn't the traditional sense of agent phones you, go to audition, get an acting job. This is like a big thing that you might embrace once you start creating your own project. But once you start creating your own project, there is so much control, so much power, and so much joy that can be had from that experience. And actually, if you look at some of the most successful plays on the West End before lockdown, we can see it's the likes of The Play That Goes Wrong guys. Let me tell you about a story about that. I went to drama school with a couple of those guys, and when they were starting out, they were literally leafleting people as they were coming out of the bathroom in my drama school, telling us about their latest play. And you're like, okay, very good, right, we'll go and see it. And then you see the journey that they go on, that this play that was being performed in the Red Lion pub, then went to off West End, then got picked up to be in the West End. Then J.J. Abrams, the director of Star Wars, decides to be their producer and take it to Broadway. Then they end up with their own TV show. And literally, I can't stress this enough, guys, all that was a group of people that came together and they decided to commit to an idea year after year after year, get better at it, and just see it build and grow, and they believed in it. Like, this happens time and time again. Like, there's tons of other examples out there as well. So my recommendation to you is that time that you have right now, how can you use it to the best of your ability? Because otherwise, all this pandemic might be over, you're going to be back to the busy lifestyle that you once had, and you think, man, why didn't I use that time to the best that I could? My final piece of advice is to look after yourself. Like, you're not going to manage to thrive as an actor during this pandemic if you're not in balance. And what I mean by that is looking after your health, looking after yourself financially, and obviously looking after your personal and career goals. I'd really recommend journaling these, writing these down, checking in with them on a daily basis, those goals. also just simple things like getting enough sleep, making sure you're eating the right foods, making sure you're getting movement throughout the day and exercising in some way, even if that's just a walk. Look after you. In order to be a happy person, you need to be a well-rounded, balanced person. And it's important not to forget that as you go through this pandemic. Alright guys, those were some ideas, tips, thoughts. I hope you get value from it. What's been things that you've been doing yourself to survive as an actor during this pandemic? Please let me know in the comments. And if you got value from this video, I'd really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. I'll be uploading weekly videos about acting tips, techniques, and having a mindset for success. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, click the subscribe button, and I'll see you again soon.